Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be spilling all the tea about my first trimester. So I'm also going to be sharing my ultrasounds. I've gotten quite a few in the first trimester, and I am also going to be using the Doppler at the end of my video and letting you hear the baby's heartbeat. I will be sharing a bump picture. I'm really not showing that much in this video. I wrote down all of my symptoms and things along the way because I really suck at sit-down videos. I'm more of like a vlogger. Sit-down videos really are not my thing, so I tend to be all over the place when I talk, so I get kind of hard to follow. I do have a 2-week wait video talking about my symptoms, so you can go watch that. I'll have that link down below. I had headaches. That was like one of my first symptoms of finding out I was pregnant. Was I had a really bad headache, and my headaches kind of stopped, but the first couple of weeks I had headaches and I was really tired, and I've been really tired this whole pregnancy. A lot of it probably has to do with keeping up with a 3-year-old little boy, but I have a lot more responsibilities than I did when I was pregnant with my son. But I was extremely tired during his pregnancy also. I'm just one of those people who, like, pregnancy just wipes me out. And on a normal basis, like, I'm a really energetic person. Like, the moment I hop out of bed, like, I tackle my to-do list and I stay on the move all day. Like, I'm not the type of person to take naps. I'm not the person to sit down and watch TV. But when I'm pregnant, I take naps and I just want to sit down a lot. I get really, really winded and wiped out. At 6 weeks, I've also been extremely thirsty. At 6 weeks, I had really bad morning sickness, or more like all day sickness for me. I literally was throwing up all day. It was exhausting. Around 7 weeks, 7.5 weeks, I started taking Ultrasounds and B6, and that was a lifesaver. I had a miscarriage back in November, which I'm going to talk about in this video, but most of you already know that, but if you did not, if you're new here, I had a miscarriage back in November, and even during that pregnancy, I had morning sickness, and with my son, who's now 3, I had extreme morning sickness. I had to go to the hospital and get IVs because I was dehydrated. I literally threw up all day with him, and I didn't know about Ultrasounds and B6 then, and I was not comfortable with taking like Zofran and stuff like that because I just read like stuff about birth defects and stuff, and it just really scared me. I don't even take Tylenol when I'm pregnant. I just really try not to take any medicine. I haven't taken Tylenol this whole pregnancy. Not that there's nothing wrong with it if you do it, it's just my preference. I'm just not a medicine person. So Ultrasounds and B6, I really have researched it, and there's really nothing to prove like birth defects and stuff like you read with other prescriptions. So it really, really, really saved me. I started taking that around 7.5 weeks, and I would still get nauseous every now and then, but I really could hold stuff down and not throw up all the time, which was awesome. I have thrown up like a few times since I've been taking that. Just like a few weeks ago I threw up, but it's more so since I've been taking that, it's like I get nauseated at night more than feeling nauseated like all day. I get like night sickness where sometimes I feel nauseated, and then if I try to brush my teeth, then sometimes I may throw up. Also around 7 weeks, my progesterone dropped, and they called me and told me that my progesterone had dropped and that they wanted to put me on a prescription of like, I believe they started off with 100 milligrams a day. And for some reason, when they told me that, I like cried when I got off the phone because it scared me. Because I had an ultrasound. Let me go back. I had an ultrasound at 5 weeks and 4 days. The little sac, and that made me feel really good. I guess my doctor has considered me more high risk. So since I just had that miscarriage in November and stuff, so they've given me a lot of ultrasounds, and when I saw the sac, I was like, yay, like I was super happy to see that, because you know, you can have chemical pregnancies and blighted ovums and like all that stuff. So to see the sac was really nice, but your chance of a miscarriage drops a little bit more after you see the heartbeat. So I was still really anxious until I saw the heartbeat for the first time. And I saw the first heartbeat at 6 weeks and 4 days. Felt extremely better then, but then at that same appointment I had blood work drawn, and then a few days later that's when they called me and told me that my progesterone had dropped. And this whole pregnancy I have felt really anxious, and then on top of that, between 6 and 7 weeks, like at my first doctor's appointment at 6 weeks when I saw the baby, the sac, they put me on bed rest, and they told me that they wanted me to have pelvic rest until they saw the first heartbeat and stuff. They didn't want no sex. They didn't want me basically lifting anything. Like, they just wanted me to do the bare minimum. They don't really say bed rest no more. It's kind of like pelvic rest, because bed rest can like cause like blood clotting, and it can cause like depression, and there's like a few other things that the reason that they don't really say bed rest anymore. So it's more like called pelvic rest. And I went into that appointment really excited, and then when they told me that, I filmed my whole pregnancy journey, so you can go back of some videos. I'll have them linked below, and I have the title of They Put Me on Bed Rest, and it made me really emotional and scared, because my anxiety during this pregnancy has been like really bad. I already struggle with having anxiety and just worrying about the worst case scenario, and then having that miscarriage in November really scared me, because we got pregnant at the end of August, I believe, or it was the beginning of September, and I had like all the symptoms, like morning sickness, tired. Like, I thought that my pregnancy was going good, because you always hear, oh, if your HCG levels are rising, you have symptoms, that usually means you have a healthy baby. So I had no reason to think I was gonna miscarry. So when I had my first ultrasound and they told me it didn't look like the baby was growing as it should, it was just totally caught me off guard and was really hard. So every little thing makes me nervous. Back in November was also a second miscarriage for me. So my first miscarriage was more like, I would say like a chemical pregnancy, but nonetheless, both of them have me, you know, pretty terrified. So the first one, by the way, was before my son was born. I really don't talk about that with nobody. Only a few people who are close to me know, but so anyways, once you've had a loss or losses, when you get pregnant again, it just doesn't feel the same. Like, you have anxiety, you have that worry, you know what it feels like to get excited about something and then it be taken away from you. Start planning and like all of that. It's just really hard. My last miscarriage, we had already started buying stuff and we were planning stuff. I didn't actually lose the baby until 11 weeks, but the baby wasn't actually the size of an 11-week baby, because the baby quit growing around 6 or 7 weeks. But nonetheless, we still were planning and stuff, and it was still very heartbreaking. So being told that I was put on bed rest at 6 weeks and then my progesterone dropping at 7 weeks really had me emotional. And then also, when you're put on like bed rest and pelvic rest, for somebody like me who has anxiety and then you are really an active person, being put where you're told like you shouldn't lift your son, and I have a 3-year-old who I have to lift, like he pitches fits and I have to pick him up off the floor and I have to put him in the car seat and like all this stuff, it's really hard. But on top of that, when you just are used to being active and then you're just sitting around and you really can't do anything, and you feel like you can't stay on top of housework, and you feel like you can't take care of your son, your kid, like you need to, it really got to me. I really started to feel down, almost like depressed, because I wanted this pregnancy We plan on this being my last pregnancy, and like I said, with my son, I lost weight up until 20 weeks pregnant. That pregnancy wasn't like super enjoyable because I was really sick and other reasons why it just wasn't that enjoyable, but I really was hoping that this pregnancy, especially if it is our last, that it was just like smooth sailing and I really got to enjoy every moment and just be normal. I wanted to exercise during my first trimester, and I wanted to be active and to just feel really good, you know. I worked really hard to get into a really good mental space before I got pregnant again. We lost the baby in November, and we waited about 6 months, until 5.5 to 6 months before we got pregnant again. And I just really wanted it to be great. So far, this pregnancy has been really good because there's a healthy baby as far as I know, so I'm really thankful for that. But that doesn't mean that there's not mental struggles and that I have felt totally great this whole pregnancy. It has mentally been really hard on me. So that was 6 to 7 weeks. So at 7 weeks and 5 days, I got another ultrasound. Told me progesterone still was low and not going up, so they upped my dose to 400 milligrams a day. And I was really happy to see that the baby was growing like it was and everything, but I was still really worried since about my progesterone. It can cause a miscarriage and you're still not out of the safe zone. And I really started to feel like at 8 to 9 weeks, I started to feel kind of like hopeless and defeated. Like, how am I going to continue to do this? I didn't feel like really excited about my pregnancy, if I'm being honest. And like, I wanted to be pregnant really bad. Like, I don't want to come off wrong. I'm super grateful to have a healthy baby and stuff, but at the same time, like, I couldn't get excited and be like, think of baby names and like want to plan stuff, because I was just so anxious and I was just so thinking about the what if. And that's not a way that you should be. You shouldn't live in fear. You shouldn't let a miscarriage or miscarriages define you. Every pregnancy is different, and I know that, but it's easier said than done. If I could like exercise during my pregnancy and I had an appetite to eat like healthy foods, but like I didn't have an appetite to like eat all the nutritional foods that I should. When you're like nauseous in your first trimester, you just have to eat whatever sounds good at the time, whether it's healthy or not. And being put on pelvic rest, essentially, they told me, I was like, well, can I walk my dog down the street? And they was like, no. So you just like being told that you literally can't be active and stuff, and basically all I should do is just sit on the couch and, you know, do the bare minimum. It's not going to help you mentally, especially when you're used to being a really active person, because then you're just like, okay, I'm just going to like sit around and think about all the worst case scenarios, and then you have your toddler running around. Thankfully, I have had my family who has helped. My mom's been a tremendous help. My husband owns his own business and he has to pay the bill, so he can't just stay home and like take care of me and my son all day. So I'm really glad that my mom stepped in and helped. I have another ultrasound at 9 weeks and 5 days. And around this time, I started to get a little bit more excited and to, you know, feel a little bit more hopeful and feel better. So my moods did go up a little. I started to feel better and everything like that. So I'm so glad that I did start to feel better a little bit. But like I said, I just felt like I wouldn't have felt so down if I could be active and I was eating nutritional stuff and I could just live like more of a normal life like I did before I was pregnant, if that makes sense. Let's talk some more about symptoms though. One of my symptoms I've had is vivid dreams. Like, they're so real. I'm still having vivid dreams. Like, they're like crazy, wild dreams. I have dreamed about the baby like 2 times. One of them was a complete nightmare. I completely dreamed about a miscarriage and it was very detailed and very scary. I woke up very upset. My other dream was really weird. It was a dream where the baby could just come out at any time. It was still like hooked to the umbilical cord and stuff, and I could just like look down and hold the baby and see the baby, and then I could shove it back in me. So weird. And also in that same dream, like I could see the imprint of the baby's face throughout my stomach when it would move. So I would see the whole outline of the baby's face through my stomach. So it was a really cool dream. I have not yet dreamed about the gender. We don't plan on finding out the gender, so I find that very funny that I have not dreamed about the gender at all. Because most of the time you dream, oh, you're having a boy or you're having a girl, but I haven't dreamed the baby's gender. But the vivid dreams are very interesting. You don't know what you're gonna dream when you go to bed at night. The bloat has been super real this pregnancy. I have been so bloated. If you saw my day in the life video, 10 weeks pregnant, I was super bloated. It looked like I was like 5 months pregnant. But one, it was just the angle of that video, and two, it was nighttime. But my bloat really has stopped around 12 weeks. I noticed that I'm not feeling as bloated as I was. At first I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna look so huge this pregnancy. I was like blown away, but it was just really just all bloat, which I knew. Now I'm feeling like pretty normal. I'm not feeling like I have a baby bump or anything. The bloat has really went down the last couple of weeks, so I'm really happy about that. But you're so bloated because you're retaining water, and I'm always thirsty, so I was always drinking a lot of water. I still do, and it's just like all of your hormones and stuff, so that's fun. The bloat. My face has been really clear. I remember with my son, I got breakouts all on my chin and my face was really broke out. But this pregnancy, my face has been really clear, and usually I struggle with acne, and my face has been really clear, so I've really enjoyed that. On my neck though, it feels like bumpy, but they're really, really tiny bumps. Like you probably couldn't even see them. I asked my husband and he said that you really can't see them. It's just like really tiny bumps, but that has to be pregnancy related because I've never had that before. And also I am getting pimples on my back, and my back never breaks out. So it's weird where I'm getting breakouts, but my face is clear. I've had a lot of crampiness and fullness feeling, and yeah, my stomach has been really crampy. Not like extreme cramps or nothing like that, but I definitely do have cramps. What I've had is really sore boobs. Like you can't even touch them. They're so sore. It's my whole boobs. They're huge. I don't remember with my son ever having boob pain, or I don't remember them growing this much. But my boobs have changed tremendously, and they hurt so much, and especially like even like hugging my husband. If he hugs me too tight, it like hurts. Or my son climbing on me, or just anything. Like some mornings I wake up and they're like throbbing. And even when I breastfed my son, I did not ever like hurt feeding him or anything. So I think this time when I breastfeed, I'm probably really gonna be in pain because my boobs hurt so bad, and that never happened with him. Starting around 11 weeks, I would start getting like shooting pains in my vagina every now and then. I know this video is TMI, but welcome to Brittany's pregnancy TMI. The next 5-ish months, we're gonna be really TMI here. And then probably after that too, postpartum. All right, I'm gonna show y'all my last ultrasound I got. I think I'm missing one, but I don't know what happened to it. So anyways, this is my latest ultrasound. It's 11 weeks and 4 days. So cute. He's grown, the baby's grown so much. Just look from 9 weeks to 11 weeks. So cute. Okay, so another thing is I have really craved shaved ice, fruit, and my food aversion has been Chick-fil-A. I am a diehard Chick-fil-A fan. Like, I love Chick-fil-A. But I remember with my son, I could not stomach Chick-fil-A when I was pregnant. And this pregnancy is the same way. Like, I cannot stand Chick-fil-A. I cannot eat it. I cannot think about it. Super crazy. But I have craved shaved ice, and I have craved fruit, and I've craved like egg sandwiches and things like that. now that the end of my first trimester, I have really started to eat more vegetables and stuff, because in my first trimester, it's just survival mode for me and my whole family. Whatever we eat is whatever we eat. Whatever happens is whatever happens. It's just straight survival mode. And I really can't really watch what I eat because I'm just, there's my son in the background. I'm really just like nauseous. So I've really, the end of the first trimester, my appetite has changed and I've started to be able to eat healthy. My goal is to only gain around 25 pounds this pregnancy. So we'll see how that goes. I'll let y'all listen to the heartbeat. I'm not really showing that much. You might see a little roundness here, but for the most part, I'm really just not showing. My bloat tremendously has went down, so I really like that. I'm gonna try to only gain around 25 pounds. So I got done with this video right in time because my son is awake and he's probably been loud this video. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to follow me over on Life with Brittany on Instagram to keep up with me, and I will see you guys in my next video. Until next time.